You pick up sticks, nobody's going to know that. And you burn
There's
sticks.
one over there.
Because this burns so efficiently, it doesn't really take big logs to produce quite a bit of heat. Now I'm starting to get into clay, which is making things a little more difficult. You can hear it.
Yes. How deep do you have to make it?
About 8 inches. So on me, if I jam my fist down like that, 8 inches is going to be right about there.
So you got it.
Okay. Now, like I said, that 8 inches is not very big. So if you want to put bigger pieces of wood in there, down at the base, you dig it out so that you can put bigger wood in.
Okay, so you've been on this roughly 12 to 15 minutes so far.
What, on this?
Yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, laying it all out and doing the top part.
Talking? I don't think I've been doing the actual digging for 15 minutes.
No, not just from the very beginning to so far. And so, what time of day might you be doing this?
Well, you do it whenever you have to, but you know, if you're traveling, normally what you're doing is you're making camp for the night.
Yeah.
So it's usually going to be sometime in the evening before it gets dark is when you're going to. So you want to make, obviously, you want to make camp. You don't want to start making camp too late, because then you'll run out of light to be able to do what you need to do.
And I was sitting here thinking that you could use a headlamp to do this, but then someone would see your light.
Right. And this is going to take, you know, you guys are watching this, it's going to take some muscle.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying you need to, if you've been sedentary for a long time, you need to start working on your muscles.
My arms are okay, but my legs are hard.
Academy has those handheld. What do you call those little
Weights.
All right.
2 pounds, 5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just this. We're going to come out away from this hole now about 6 to 8 inches, and we're going to make
An air hole.
another hole. Yes. going to want this hole to be big enough that you can stick your arm down into it. So it doesn't have to be very big around. You just need to be able to get your arm in there.
So it needs to be the same depth as the main hole.
Yeah, we're going to dig down and then
I'll-
across to where it exits into this
Ooh.
hole.
Okay.
I used to do that one.
We call it.
Once you get your air hole deep enough, then you're going to start in here, and I'll probably use my knife instead here. Going to start making a hole going that direction to meet this hole that I've dug already.
How big does that hole need to be?
Big enough that you can stick your arm in it.
I mean, the tunnel.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
And you get dirty doing this, so
Yes, you will get dirty.
don't be afraid to get dirty.
The girls at work are going, I want to do that. What about my nails?
One thing about that cobalt thing, they've got us all tied down. I finally outgrew all of my artificial nails and they're healthy again. Well, I'll get through years like the job I
We used to
had
play in
before,
dirt all day long.
because I think,
We
you
played
know, I ended up
football
finding with
Yes.
palm trees.
Yes. I mean, it
But I
did
was
not
looking
bother
at
us.
paper and presentations, and if you accidentally go like this, your nail polish will come off on the documents or
That's the way.
stuff.
That's the way I raised my kids. I was
started
like,
getting them done when they put the
dirt washes off in water.
no matter what you do.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter.
By the time I got the product to work with
It doesn't hurt to get a little dirt. Even if they got a lot of dirt. My oldest son, he was like an Indiana Jones. Dirt was like a magnet to him.
So you're using a knife to help you dig over.
Yeah, because that's not going to fit in there.
Right.
So
I don't know what these little guys ever seen. It's my second one.
this actually has turned out to be excellent soil for doing this.
Because it's holding its shape and
Yes.
I don't
everything.
know what it is, but I got it. And I don't find a head yet to pop it. It's not a bite.
So you could say that these two holes here would be like a pretty good place where your campfire is going to be.
Yeah,
You're
this-
actually building a campfire right
Oh,
here.
yes.
Yes.
Very
Okay.
much so.
Now I'm for the sake of time, I'm actually not. You could make it deeper and bigger around than this,
That's what you
but
think.
you know, we don't have all day, so
So would you need to do this only if you're going to cook or if it's cold?
well,
I mean, if you had something like pemmican to eat, and it was in the summer, you wouldn't necessarily have to have a fire, would you?
no, you wouldn't.
A little cold can.
Now I will say this. This kind of segues. I said in the email that it would segue. When it comes to a potty hole, is basically you're going to do the same thing. Okay.
But you're not going to vent it.
Huh?
You're not going to vent the potty hole, are you?
No. No, but you want to make the potty hole at least this deep. And what you're going to do on the potty hole is you're also going to add like a shape like this, okay? And dig that out. It doesn't have to be as deep as your potty hole here. Dig that out and slope it high here, low here for urine, okay? That way when you urinate, it'll capture the urine and run it back down into the hole. Everything that you use when you're gonna potty, everything is gonna go in this hole. Leaves or toilet paper or whatever you end up using to wipe with. Of course, your excrement or your urine, everything needs to go in the hole. And then you're gonna do what we're gonna do with this. You're gonna put everything back like it was.
So you're pretty much, what you're doing is you're covering evidence
That's right.
of your
Are you using
being.
any Seven Dust or anything to kill the odor?
No. No, you know, we're not gonna be able to do that kind of stuff. Not if we're on the run.
Well, you might want Seven Dust if nothing else in this country because of chiggers. We had a camp in Lancaster, which is south of Dallas, and when the kids came out, parents dropped them off. We had someone standing there with an old sock and pounding around them from the ankles down, and we let the parents know ahead of time that was a stipulation that if they got on their shoes or clothes, don't panic on it. It kept the ticks and no seeums from messing with the kids. Seven.
Sevin.
S what?
Sevin.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how safe Seven Dust is on human skin. We used to also spray everybody with DDT, but that's not a good thing. So I'm not sure that I would. I'd have to do more research on Seven Dust to see if it's harmful.
It's mainly to go when you're walking through an area. Most of your contact with those creatures are going to be from your boots down. Tuck your pants inside your boots, and that helps too.
I think Terra Shield helps really good, the essential oil.
Yes, it does. It doesn't do it as well because I've tried that, and mosquitoes have absolutely nothing to do with my husband, nothing whatsoever. But it's like I walk outside and it's like the army showed up.
Right.
So I don't go outside a whole lot in the summertime. Safer in the winter. And living by the lake doesn't help. So.
All right, I've got a hole through. Got to clean it out, but
Okay, if we're trying to escape our searchers, are we better off to find something else to use other than perfumes or smelly deodorants and stuff?
we're gonna have to go back to the way they used to do things a long time ago. They didn't use anything. They stunk.
Yeah, they stunk. So we're gonna be just like the old
We're gonna
trapper.
stink.
Fur trapper.
That's right.
You can buy deodorant, but it will not last forever.
One of the things to throw off a tracker, because usually they'll use dogs to track with. It's gonna sound gross, but you urinate, collect urine in a 2-liter bottle, and like in our case, as we're going down the river, you stop every once in a while and you put some urine on the bank. Now, it won't stop a tracker, but it will slow them down significantly because the dogs will hit on that every time they find human urine smell, they're going to hit on that, which is going to take them, they're going to think this is where they disembarked or whatever, and they're going to be looking around in that area. Every time they have to stop and do that, that's longer that you have to get away from them. All right, so we've got our air hole, we've got our fire hole, and now I want to show you something that I made. You don't have to do this. You can use green sticks instead, like cut straight green limbs off of trees, just one off of one every once in a while, like maybe facing, like in this case we got a big clear area. If I were to do this and I'm trying to hide what I'm doing, I would take a stick from the back side of one of the trees. That way somebody standing here is not going to see that a limb's been cut off from the tree. So I'm going to take it from the back side of the tree, maybe one from that tree and one from another tree, and like that. But I had these made up. This is a 1/2 inch what they call round stock steel, and I'm going to take my knife or a stick or whatever and make a little channel in the dirt on each side and lay that in there, and then another, and then another. If my hole's big enough, I've got 5 of them here in case I want to make a bigger hole. But that's going to be my cooking surface, okay? And by using this steel, we can use this over and over and over and over. That's not going to burn up, okay? Huh?
Need to get some of that.
Is it heavy? I'm thinking about what you would discard first.
What's that?
I'm thinking about what you would discard first if weight was an issue.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't, if weight was an issue, you wouldn't want to do this.
Ooh, that is heavy.
Where do you buy that at? Yeah.
I got this from Lowe's. Comes in a long, I think it's a 6-foot stick or something like that.
And you had them cut it?
And then Mark cut this for me.
And then you carry all that in your backpack.
Or, you know, on the boat. See, I'm not worried about weight because it's just going to lay in the boat.
Well, if you're taking that bucket full of fuel, wouldn't those things fit right inside that bucket?
Yeah, you can stick it in the bucket.
Yeah, and plus the cotton and the Vaseline also.
Yeah, this was just, I have this bucket sitting on a shelf. So I just collected all these different components. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the fire in the pit. And so, like I said, we're gonna take a piece of cotton, see, if you're sweaty, that's what you end up with. We're gonna take a piece of this cotton, and I'm gonna show you ladies how to get a good sharp knife.
What about cotton balls?
You could use cotton balls.
I got gobs of those.
It's just that you don't have to buy this. This is free.
Yeah, oh, I understand that.
You need a good sharp knife, and after you've dug into the ground, it's not a sharp knife anymore. So you have to have something that you can sharpen your knife with.
What about a pair of scissors?
If you got a pair of scissors, you can use a pair of scissors. And it doesn't take much of the cotton because it's more just a carrier for the Vaseline. So take a good clump of Vaseline and just like work it into that cotton. And that's going to go down first in my hole.
Right in the center?
Yes. Maybe off to the side just a little bit. I mean, again, none of this stuff is, we're not trying to be precise or anything like that.
Now, why would you take a green as opposed to a...
Oh, I'm just wiping wiping my hand, my fingers. This will burn because it's got the petroleum jelly on it.
But you could do that if you were really doing this. You could also get a green leaf and throw it in the fire.
Yeah.
Because it has the petroleum on it.
Right. Now, I'm going to take one of my fire starters. And you're probably going to want to come over here and look down in the hole and see what I'm doing.
I'm going to need you to... Your fingers are in the way.
Oh, okay, upside down.
All right, so I've put my cotton kind of off to the side from the fire starter because I want this exposed. I'm going to, when I use my steel, my flint steel, I'm going to want to strike it into that, okay? Because that's what's going to take off first, and then it will start this. And then on top of this, we're gonna go around here, and we're gonna pick up little sticks like this. So you want to start off real small. And again, you want to do it where you're not covering up your cotton ball.
Can we get in? You okay?
There's a bit larger.
Okay. Okay, this hole's not very big, so you can't put a whole lot in there. So now you want to look for a little bit larger stuff.
You can break those in.
Have it ready to put in there. Now this is why hollowing it out in the bottom or making it larger in the bottom is key, so you don't have to have too small of a piece of wood. I don't know whether that's going to fit or not. Probably not. That definitely is not going to fit. All right, so once you get that set up, this is called flint steel, and this is the striker. Okay, this one is called Fire Steel. That's the brand name, firesteel.com. You can buy them in different sizes. And to strike, You're going to put it on the flint steel, and you're going to put quite a bit of force down on that when you strike, because what you're doing is you're scraping particles of this that are burning. So the friction is what makes it burn. You're scraping. And it may take you a little while to...
It's trying.
A match works a lot better.
It does, but sometimes you don't have match.
I'm just sitting here thinking about Tom Hanks building fire on that island. Yeah. Excellent movie, excellent acting.
If we can get it in the right place. You actually may, what you can do is this.
I tried. It's smoking.
So the spark has got to land on that.
Got to land on it, yeah.
What about your plasma torch?
We're working primitive.
Does the flint itself get hot enough that you could touch the cotton ball?
The what? I've never had this much trouble.
Did you cut your hand there, Rhonda?
Maybe. We'll get it eventually.
This is one of those times when you say, Lord, help us. Help us get it done. Well, it wants to go everywhere but there.
Yeah. Oh. It's almost like that petroleum jelly is not wanting to catch.
What happens if you push that ball further to the right and then stay where you are and it might hit it? It wants to go back into where that handle is.
There, almost. Wow. There we go. Almost.
Go get that plasma line.
Well, the whole point of this was to do it
I
without.
know, well, at least you're showing us that it is not something that's really easy to do.
What if you have several different little cotton balls and one of them will take?
Let's do this. Nest it like that.
She's filming.
There we go.
Yay!
That petroleum is just like not burning.
blow on it till you lose it. Come on, make smoke. Come on. There you go. It's making smoke.
Nope.
There's smoke.
It went out.
No, no, it's not.
Nest. Let's nest this in here. Like that.
It's burning.
It's gonna take.
Come on, get over to the egg carton.
Nope.
You blow on it at this stage?
Not really sure why the petroleum jelly's not catching. That should like go really strongly. All right, there it goes, finally.
Exercise is what we need.
No, cigarette lighters.
We need to all go out camping and practice this where there's no electricity or anything and just
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I have to do it again.
but some of them haven't.
Yeah.
Last weekend doing that. My skin's glowing
Oh,
from it. We all
and
got
you peeled.
super burned.
Oh yeah.
Well, Gene starts a fire in our fire pit in the wintertime, and all he does is go in and get one of them artificial logs and put it in the bottom.
That's cheating.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but he says I see no reason right at this particular point in time to do it the old-fashioned way when there's no one bothering us, so give me a log. So he's not using my fire starters. I probably got 30 or maybe 40 egg cartons filled. Well, I just haven't put
digging the
wax
hole
in.
is bad
I
enough.
guess I should sit down
Or,
and,
you know,
and I've
the
got a
wind
bunch of
tunnel.
candles
That's-
saved for that purpose. Smells good.
Does smell good.
Once this starts actually heating up, then it will start drawing. So you're going to get smoke in the beginning, but once it starts really drawing the air through here, then the smoke ends up getting reduced because you're really doing a really hot fire.
We need some s'mores.
Can you see, sister?
Yeah, it's just coming back that way.
Just a slight.
All right, now we need a
Now, when you
potato.
put the larger size ones in, do you
Mhm.
put them in at an angle so that you can get a longer one in and maybe even leave part of it showing?
Well, if I had taken more time, I would have made it larger underneath, down in the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and then we could have put bigger pieces in there. But for time's sake, I didn't want to take the time to do that.
So now we need a grate.
That's what this.
I don't think she was
That was
out here when we did that, when I showed them that.
the metal things.
I wasn't here. I was in the restroom.
Yeah.
Oh. There they are on the ground over there behind the bucket. They're just metal rods. And they're heavy.
Where you can get big sticks.
You want them to be green
Green
sticks.
sticks.
Yeah.
Off the tree. You want to go back of the tree where they can't see.
Oh,
it.
that
You
way
chop
they don't
something
burn
off.
real fast.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And you want them to be fairly big in diameter, because if they're too small, they'll just burn up. Now we're not going to let this burn for very long, but I just wanted you to see. You can't, now you're not, you might be able to see the very top of the flame, but you're not going to see a whole fire. And as you can see, now that it has gotten going, very little smoke. Okay?
And that's because of the second.
Because of this, it's drawing air in and it's burning more efficiently. It's almost,
Because it's underground.
huh?
Right? And because it's partially in the ground.
Yeah, but what you're doing is you're containing the fire, and then you're feeding it from one source. It almost acts like when you've got a forge, when you're
So
doing,
this is a hotter fire than
and you're
above the
blowing
ground.
air into the fire. It's basically, once you get the fire going here, then it starts drawing air. It circulates like that, so it sucks air into this hole and brings it into the bottom, and it burns more efficiently. So you actually get a better fire, hotter fire, more efficient fire without having to use, you don't have to have big logs, okay? And this is perfectly sufficient for cooking on. Easy to add wood to it, you know, when you need to, because all you're doing is just adding small stuff like that.
Being down in the ground like that, does it burn hotter?
Yes, it does.
Which is good when you're in a hurry to get food out.
And then how would you place your steel across your grate?
Well, in my case, I would just make some trenches, little trenches on each side to keep keep it from rolling, and then just lay it across the hole. Okay, now so now that we've made it, and now that we've built a fire in it, and you can see you can do it without having to have matches or a lighter. It's not real easy,
But it can be
but
done.
it can be done. It's good to have one of those in your kit, okay? And now that we've proven this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it out.
What would you do for like a campfire? You know, if you needed to stay warm, if it was like in the winter. Or if
Wow, it's sure smoking a lot now. If you need to stay warm, well, I guess you'd have to stand over this. There's a lot of heat coming out of that, but it wouldn't be the same. Easy to put out. So we did all that so I could fill it back up.
Yeah, this. Don't want to leave a hole for a horse to break his leg in. Yeah, but you never know. A deer. Do you have any deer in this area, Michael?
Yes, we do.
Good. Are they in here during deer season? Or do they just...
Yeah, we've seen them here during deer season.
We've had 4 baby fawns born on our property this year. We had 6 last year.
Do you shoot one for food?
Definitely not.
You don't like venison?
They have a deer house. We built them a deer house. and it's brown on the outside and very much pink on the inside. And they camp out in it and we feed them every day.
Oh, then they're pets.
They meet me on the driveway.
Then they're pets. Yeah, you won't
Well,
eat your pets.
They keep their distance, but they
They're
come
wild,
about
but
as
she's
close as you are to me. Yeah.
Oh, my father would lose his mind.
We had antlers a couple of years ago, and he would meet me, and he would be about as close as Rabbi is.
Now, will that plug
Straight through down
survive?
the driveway.
It should. You okay?
Yeah.
Smoke inhalation?
No, I just cough. It's okay.
You can't even tell.
Mm-mm. That's what's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, just like nobody was ever there, huh?
That's what you're after.
Uh-huh.
That's the idea.
And you
could
would've-
probably keep stoking that all through the night, so you can, even though you make dinner off of that flame, you can make breakfast. And it just requires just a little bit of fuel to keep it going,
And you would have used up all the leaves.
especially since you're worn out from having lit it. the
Used up
first
what?
time.
All those leaves already.
What about them?
You would have used those up in the fire.
No,
Oh.
not at all.
No, it's a covering. It's the icing on the cake.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What do you do with the extra dirt?
Now this, we're just going to take somewhere else
Wow.
and scatter it.
Blowing back on him. Dirt.
Because you don't want to leave any evidence at all anywhere, any kind of mark that you've been there. That's why you're scattering the sand.
You have to enjoy that one, don't you? Now you've made that whole area over there look dusty.
All right. So that's the Dakota fire hole.
Wow.
Very good.
A lot of work, but you get a